Hey everybody, Rodham here. Welcome to episode 111 of the Speedrun Challenge. So last episode, Bubbaloo suffered a little bit of heartache, and we're going to have to give him his bedroom back. But I wanted to go over all the tips first. So Double Dash mentioned that I can use campfires for heat as they're pretty efficient. And then also I could grow some roses around the deep drills. And that way we keep the drillers happy because it's prettier. So let's go ahead and do that. So roses around the deep drills. Arathakabe mentioned that I should have two different dumping stockpiles. So let's go ahead and do that. One is going to be for bad weapons. And then one is going to be for bad clothing. So bad clothing, we're going to make this preferred. For any clothing that is under 90%, that will be the cutoff. And most of this stuff down here would meet that. And this will be for all apparel below 90%. And then this here is for bad weapons. Really, every weapon is going to go here. I'm going to keep the current clothing in this stockpile because I don't want to have to move it twice. But there we go. Then I'm going to need my normal stockpile back here. So there's that. Federico mentioned that I should store my wood outside because it will deteriorate slowly, but it saves space, and that's a very good point. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Raw resources of wood going to be outside, and then to slow the deterioration, I can build a roof over it. And in fact, I'm going to build a roof over a lot of the stuff here. Also, I want to change my doors around a little bit. Yoakum mentioned that if I put a wall here, these turrets here remain effective, and that's what I'm doing, so that when enemies enter here, they'll choose to come this way and still get shot from a distance. It won't be perfect, but it'll be decent. And then Matt's V201 mentioned that wooden traps are excellent. I'll need a large quantity of them, but they're cheap to manufacture, and they're maybe 2/3 as efficient as steel traps, because JD, the patron, mentioned that I should stop making steel traps, so that's a perfect alternative. Just go and do some wooden traps instead. So now there's a lot of little tasks that I have to set up. So what I'm going to do is, JD, you are going to set up the new doors first. This is going to look a little strange, but it is the easiest way to separate three areas. Just a weird door in the middle. Additionally, I'm going to need a new end table and dresser. So we had broken down the old ones prematurely, might I add. Alright, Bubbaloo, help haul. So the wood's going outside, and yeah, it will deteriorate. Actually, why isn't it? Is this inside? No, it's just not deteriorate. Well, whatever. If it doesn't deteriorate, that works for me. Alright, so considering Bubbaloo wants his bedroom back, I'm going to have Bubbaloo work towards getting his old bedroom all set up for habitation again. We're also making the autocannon turret. Oh, and we're doing that right now, actually, aren't we? Alright, well, we're also going to want to run power there, undoubtedly. So there's no point in having a turret without power. Let's get that starting to construct. we'll give Bubbaloo a nice bedroom again. This middle area will go dark for a bit. Alright, so we got slug turrets all set up. Let's get cryo sleep caskets. Unless there's something that I'm really overlooking. Vitals monitor wouldn't be terrible. IEDs. I am overlooking IEDs. Okay, I want to build this section of the wall first. And then we can run the power that we'll need, and that will keep us a lot more protected, having an autocannon turret at our entrance. Additionally, what I might be able to do is set up some bridges like this, and we will have even more deadfall traps. I hope they get back together. This is the hospital. This is Bubbaloo's. Bubbaloo, you're going to need some roses as well. This will be the original roses, and this will be roses like 3, 4 maybe? Yeah. Roses 0. Alright. There's a lot of little rose zones going on in here. We don't have any chairs for the poker tables, so that's going to be something I do next. Let's do armchairs out of this light leather. And then I'm going to have to Ooh, Eclipse is ending. I'm going to have to redesign some of the deadfall trap zones because it's going to need to be longer if we are to employ wooden traps. So wooden traps are more resource efficient, less damage efficient, and less space efficient. Alright, let's go ahead and get these light leather for the poker table up. Yeah, deep water is not bridgeable. That would be correct. Let's go bridge here. And here. Alright, light armchair, good. Not the best. Oh, we need more light leather than we have. What is this, plain leather? Alright, mixed leather then. Furniture. Plain leather. There's no point in having a recreation object if it is unusable. IDs are now researched. That was nice and fast. Medicine production wouldn't be terrible. What else would we want? We could use... let's just start to do caskets. Or, more specifically, let's work towards reactors. Reactors is the first thing we're going to want to build. Okay, there we go. We've got the lovely poker tables now usable. This turret should be able to be turned on, and it is. Fantastic. And then I could also build a slug turret. Seeing about range. don't want the slug turret. Yeah, I'll mine out those two sections and put a slug turret in there. Now, I've just been using marble, but it's actually not the most efficient. Security slug turret. Maybe wall this up all the way. So these two little spots here are going to be for regular turrets. And, oh man, I forget who pushed for uranium, but uranium, the advantage of uranium turrets, they're not flammable. So they're really good front turrets, flammability-wise. So here we go. This will have a nice shooting arc, as will this, and they'll be in front. And we can get those constructed up. We're obviously not going to have an issue with plasteel, as we're grinding it out pretty quick. I don't think this wood is deteriorating. Maybe wood doesn't deteriorate outside over a roof. That'd be pretty cool. Also news to me, but pretty cool. So we're going to have quite a proper kill box. Pretty soon. How are we doing on our tea and beer? Looking pretty good. I can handle a little bit of a psychic drone. Alright, what blocks do we have left? We've got some limestone. I will use limestone. So what this will do is we will have wooden traps line the entrance here. And enable the rearming. And then have an alternative door. Yeah, I'll do an auto door. Just to allow us to move around a little faster. Now, ideally, nothing will be able to get through our first line of defense, because it's cheaper to rearm this stuff than to rearm traps. But the traps are sort of the worst case scenario. They're coming in, we can't shoot them all sort of situation. Not that I think it's likely to happen, but if it does, it does. And we ought to be prepared for it in the inevitability of it. So now we have our farm also walled up. So these traps should not trigger random hungry animals in the winter. So the beauty around here, the roses offset the drills. I can expand the beautiful roses. And I think this stretch will be sandstone. Just looking at the amount of stones I have left. Two on malaria. Win and Lulu. Unfortunately, that's both of our scientists. So that's not so cool. We will self-tend, and you will heal on Bubbaloo's bed, as that will be faster. Alright, and work, bed rest, top priority. Did you tend to yourself? Yes, okay. Malaria is pretty aggressive, so it's one of those things that you need to address quickly. So Bubbaloo just got his bedroom back, only to lose his bedroom once again. The irony there is not lost on me at all. I feel bad, but you know, sometimes you just what's good for the goose is good for the gander, right? All right, let's deconstruct these old steel traps. Both JDV2 and Matt's wanted that done, so I can get that done. All right, and then we'll do the same over here. Oh, I don't need to, well, fine. Clean the rock rubble. We're only gonna have to clean that rubble once. So the beauty here is now positive. That's good. Bubbaloo's being very friendly. Oh man, Muffalo a dozen. If we needed meat, there it is, but we actually don't need meat that bad. So our steel is going back up. This should not contain steel of any type. So no steel, no uranium, no wood, no plasteel, no jade, no gold, no silver. And let's copy this zone and paste it over here too. And that will save us some room. And then I think we can probably store just about everything we need inside here. Although the small stacks of leather that I'm not likely to get refreshed, we could probably have decay. As long as it's so small that we won't be able to make clothing out of it. Sorry, JD. I know I keep telling you to haul stuff around. There we go. Now we don't even have a stockpile in here. That saves us a fair bit of room. Immunity and malaria neck and neck. Immunity way above malaria. What I think I'm going to do is have Bubbaloo be the doc for now. So win, rest. Bubbaloo, you're going to have to tend to people. Do your best. 31% is better than nothing. So we have a lot of redundant traps. We have traps when they initially come in, traps when they get a little bit closer. What I could do here is to set up some sandbags so I can shoot at the people here if I'd rather shoot at them than set off some more traps. And then that means that we could put our turrets out there. So we're sort of limiting how many... We have many different layers of defenses, in other words. Nature's pretty wild. So JD's helping to get up all the beautiful traps. The many layers of redundant traps. Oh, we have to step over one. That's not great. And that way, once we fire up the reactor, it would take a rather large attack force to break all the way deep into our base here. And then probably one of the researches that I ought to get before I get reactor is pulse charge munitions, because they're going to be the strongest against the worst enemy types, the mechs. You have to prepare for the worst and hope for the best. Oh, you are very hungry. Alright, we'll obviously need some dead power here, so we can turn these off. I don't want to keep them powered on all the time. And then, additionally, Bubbaloo is going to have to clear cut. I feel like, given the rate of plant spreading, if I clear cut this whole area, there isn't a lot of other places for it to regrow from. So I'm going to do a crazy amount of clear cutting. I'm going to clear cut my whole sort of base here, and that will keep plants down for a bit. Like I said, it's crazy, but at the moment, I'm not hurting for the plasteel, as we're not really using it. And the amount of cover that we're providing potential enemies is... reckless is too strong of a word, but it is less than ideal. So the first line and second line of deadfall traps are all set up, as is the third line. Now at this point we are just waiting on... yeah, and these hops are going to route too, I'm sure. We're just waiting on our unhealthy pawns to get healthy again. So immunity has outpaced for Lulu, but I'm going to give her the last glitter world because it's kind of close. It's closer than I'm comfortable with for win. And Lulu is all set. She's well outpaced. Okay, so we have a raid of pirates coming in, and we'll see how well our defenses work. So this raid is a regular old attack and immediately raid. They've got grenades and Molotovs and... yeah, actually mostly melee. It really does look like a sapper raid, but apparently it isn't. So the first thing I'm going to do is get the turret up and on. And as you can see now, it's sort of forcing them to... wow, this turret is missing like crazy. Wow, this turret is really pathetically missing. You're like a shooter at skill 0. Oh, and then you shut off his head. And these guys are going through the spiders. Maybe they'll win. You never know. Okay, so the first group is fleeing. This guy is definitely dead. These guys are like running through, ignoring their murdered teammate. That's pretty funny. They set fires as if that would like somehow concern me. And then the fleers are gonna run into... oh no, never mind. Hi, Woody. All it took was one autocannon turret and the entire raid of maybe 8 were... well, had to flee. Right on. That wasn't that tough. And there's still some spiders left. It's too bad I can't have them tend to their own hive. Oh, this spider looks... oh, it just wandered off. It almost looks hiveless. There is, of course, whenever there's raiders, there's cleanup, unfortunately. And that's just the way it is sometimes. Alright, Bubbaloo going to clear out a lot of the plants. Now, I'm if you're wondering why I'm clearing out the plants, it's mostly because plants take a while to regrow, especially if you clear cut everything. And a lot of these plants are going to provide unnecessary amounts of cover for my enemies, which is also why I'm hauling out the chunks. So now we've got the... I'm going to have to do dead power somewhere else. But we've got the uranium turrets, which are fireproof. They have a flammability of 0. Yep, 0%. Versus the autocannon turrets, which are at 70%. So as you can see, they are not easy to burn, which is one of the advantages of uranium. And then JD is going to run some power out there, and then we'll have dead power. We'll just do a water conduit dead power. We're a little low on steel, but that's okay. I'll just stretch what I have and mine some more. Perpetually having to rearm my turrets will be somewhat expensive, but the traps being in wood are going to be a lot cheaper now. And then additionally, we can smelt the metal weapons that these guys just came in with. So is this able to actually power on, though? No. So if that's true, we'll need a waterproof conduit here. Now the danger here... Oh, I'll need to bridge it. Danger here is if any one of these turrets explode, it can potentially unpower the rest of them. So I might want to store a battery in there somewhere. Okay, Lulu, you are immune. Good. You go straight back to work. All right, I am looking for a steel node that is easy for me to mine out, and here would be one. I've been low on steel a while, so it's time to switch that up. Let's switch your bed, bub. There we go. Nice and comfortable. Decent bed, slightly impressive. 87%. I wonder where the warg went. Alright, Lulu. And have you haul this away. Get some steel. I did have somewhat of a stock of bodies here. I guess what I'll do is bury them out there. Any graves that I put down also prevent trees from coming up, so there is that advantage. And this warg, being dumb, decides to hunt another muffalo rather than eat the one it's already killed. I don't mind. Works for me, man. Keep doing my hunting for me. So I'm just shrinking this zone down so that only the ambrosia is... Darn it. Almost. Only the ambrosia is inside of it. Which is somewhat impossible to do given that I have a tree in the middle of it, but that's alright. Disallow sowing. Nothing like a good ambrosia sprout to make you happy. And some rare thrombo. Wow, alright. Now that I have some proper defenses, It's very tempting to actually shoot Inger and Manhunter the Thrumbo, get them to come fight me, and end up, you know, with some Thrumbo leather. That would really help. So JD, let's go ahead and do that. These Thrumbo are traveling. Oh, you know what? This one won't turn on, but that's okay. So what I can also do is lure it back and sort of bait it back and forth. Oh, one down. Thrumbo, I'm over here. Yep, see? Perfect. Stupid enemies, very easy to lure. And that uranium turret that I'm going to eventually build will be quite the game changer as well. I almost feel bad. That Thrumbo worked so hard to run to me. Alright, there we go. Definitely going to need to do some barrel rearming. Lulu. Could I get you up there harvesting the steel? This is more food than I'm going to need, like, ever. Which is great, don't get me wrong. Okay, all of this clothing is about to disappear. Making some beer. You know, despite being a volcanic winter, it is rather temperate. Win, you are over. Yes, good. No more malaria. Let's haul both Thrumbo, and the Thrumbo will be the first to get butchered, as we want to make clothing out of their furs. So this zone here is the most important to keep cleared of plants, because it's the one where raiders are going to be coming in on. And just making sure Bubbly's mood stays up and high. We actually haven't had any mental breaks so far. So God willing... Oops. What did I just do? I hit Y. Okay, let's do the opposite. God willing, we will avoid them. Before you go to sleep, let's get rid of the heat. And then we can fill the fermenting barrels. Should cool off now that the kitchen's coolers aren't dumping their heat into the base. Well, guys, that's all the time I have. But I wanted to say thank you for all the people that dropped me very helpful tips, like Double Nash, Erithakabe, Federico, Yoakum, JDV2, Mats V, all of you. Thank you very much. If you have any tips, tricks, ideas, feedback of any type, drop me a line, and I do hope that you tune in next time. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll catch you all later. Adios.